Hey guys, we're back with our next episode of our Sryth Fantasy Text-Based RPG. Last time, we did a few quests in Trithik here, adventures they call them. The last one was Tournament of the Thane. Who already knows me, so why are you putting up tournaments? You know I'm gonna enter, and I did, and it was cakewalk, of course, to win, because I'm a highly skilled adventurer. But yeah, there's 3 more here, so hopefully we can get through these 3. There's more in the Blade Square. There's more adventures in there, so we'll look around the city for more adventures until there aren't any. Maybe it's an ongoing adventure generating city. I don't know. If so, we'll move on. But if not, we'll finish them. So let's keep going. Thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Let's go. The list of Tau Warden. On the outskirts of the village of Talwarden, a small settlement not far west of Trithik, you happen upon a large number of people gathered at the edge of the roadside field. You make an inquiry and discover that an archery tournament is about to begin. You learn that the contest is seeking another contestant to swell its ranks to an even dozen. Sure. The man in charge of the contest greets you in the edge of the field and welcomes you warmly. Must have filled our roster a good dozen, he smiles. Go on then, take a spot with the others and we'll move this spectacle along. You join the contestants in the far side of the list and listen as the Master of Ceremonies address all those who gather here. The Master of Ceremonies explain the tournament rules, and you learn that the contest will consist of 20 rounds. During each round, all contestants will take shots of varying difficulty, with 5 points awarded for a bullseye, 2 points for an error in the inner ring, and 1 point for an error in the outer ring. It is announced that all 12 contestants will compete in all 20 rounds, and the archer with the highest point total at the end of the tournament will be the winner. 500 gold tokens in the pocket of the winner, shouts the Master of Ceremonies, as you and the other contestants take your places in the eastern end of the list. Suddenly, you take note of the man leaning against a tree at the edge of the field, almost completely shrouded in shadow, cast by a towering maple. He is garbed in the gear of a woodsman and appears to watch the unfolding contest with a great deal of interest. Despite your curiosity, you put him out of your mind to prepare yourself for the grueling test of skill. The Master of Ceremonies moves to the center of the list and addresses the cheering crowd as the contest is about to begin. From contest to contest, eh? You take the opportunity to look around and gauge your competition, noting that 2 archers, in particular a man named Edwin and a woman named Piercy, seem to have an air of confidence about them. Both of these competitors draw well-crafted bows of the highest caliber. They ain't like mine, my beautiful Farindle's Fury. As the announcements conclude, you ready yourself for the first round of the contest. The target for the first round of competition has been set back only short distance from the volley line. This should be an easy shot, and as you await your chance, you watch the other competitors step up to the line and turn and release their shots. Each competitor in turn step to line. Okay. Oh, bristens. So we got 4 contenders. At last is your turn. A moment runs through the crowd of spectators as you step forward and position yourself at the line. The target for this first round of competition is set back only a short distance. Take aim at the small target strapped to the bale of hay. Bullseye. Your arrow flies straight and true, and the speeding shaft sinks into the exact center of the target, eliciting a raucous cheer from the gathered spectators. You take a courteous bow before stepping back from the line to join the other competitors. Yeah. So 5 of us are in first place. What happened with Piercy? Piercy and Edwin are supposed to be confident. She only got 1 point. Maybe she got nervous at the last minute. Happens to me all the time. The target for the second round has been set back only a short distance. Alright, what's Edwin doing? Edwin's down to 1 point. Oh, there's Pissy got her 5. Alright. Let's hit it. Bullseye. That's what I'm talking about. We in first place. Well, Pissy's come up, and so she's tied with Edwin now, but they're still not in second place. Let's go. Third round, set back a little bit. Oh, how Edwin only got 1 point again. Where's Piercy? Oh, she got a 5 again. Go girl. And me with another 5. Wow. Oh, she's coming up. She's coming up. Everyone's losing it though. Alright, next round. There's 20 rounds. Oh, everyone's back in the fray. Oh, she's killing it now. Bullseye. Oh, PC's in second. Everyone, you're in fourth. You gotta come on up, man. Okay, how'd everyone do? Still getting 1. What's wrong with you? Oh, she's got 2. Oh, that means the Rusk is gonna come on up. And bullseye. Okay, she's still second, but the Rusk is coming on up. And tied with everyone in fourth. There's someone standing right behind me. You turn to find the woodsman you spotted at the side of the contestant standing directly behind you. His line, gaunt face betrays a half-out existence in the wilds of the world. He dips into the shallow bow and studies you carefully. Shoot well, friend, he says, the man softly, his eyes darting from the other contestants back again. I sense there might be more to you than meets the eye. Perhaps we can help each other out. I'll be watching you. Or you can question this man. He slips away, disappears into the crowd of spectators at the edge of the dish. You once again turn your attention back to the competition in hand. Like, don't come up on me, mate. Rude. Alright, 6th round. There's 20 rounds? Oof. Go on, Edwin. Pissy, what's wrong with you guys? Thought you were confident. Bullseye. I'm full 10 points ahead of the last person. Alright, 7th round. How we doing? Pissy, about time. Edwin, you're still losing it. Bullseye. What we talking here? I'm not tied for first. I'm not tied for first place. I'm in first place. PC, Northy. Edward's losing it. He's only got 15 points. He's 10 below now. Guess confidence doesn't mean skill. Okay, go PSC. How's Edwin doing? Oh my gosh, Edwin. I'm losing faith in you. Bullseye. I don't appreciate this thing saying I'm tied for first place. Okay, PSC's losing it. Edwin's losing it. Jeez. Bullseye. I'm not tied for first place. I'm in the first place. Because I haven't missed a shot yet. Okay. I'm gonna stop watching PC. That's it. Who's coming up in the second place? What? Boo. I should be a bullseye for sure. This guy is standing right behind me and did you get up off me? You turn to once again find the gaunt-faced woodsman standing directly behind you. You continue to abreast. You should now put some distance between yourself and this throng. What is he talking about? Okay. Oh, Edwin's coming back up. And Piercy. I already put distance between them and myself. I've only missed bullseye once, which was a farce. They should have gave it to me. A master archer. Archmaster archer. I shouldn't be missing bullseyes at all. Okay. Oh, they're coming up at the end here, huh? Oh, Pissy's holding the second place. Edwin's coming back up. What times get more difficult? They're getting better shots. They're pissing me off. No way I should not be getting bullseyes. Every shot should be a bullseye. gosh, what? You turn once again, find the gaunt-faced woodsman standing directly behind you. Your skill with the bow is astounding. There are others watching as well, though you cannot see them. Now make a strong finish, we can assess more important matters. Or you can question the man. He slips away and disappears in the crowd. On the 16th round. It would be amazing if they gave me a bullseye every time, which is what I should be getting. If it's above 100, bullseye, fine. If we hit 60s like that, you can put me... Edwin, what happened? Weren't you coming back? You're still in fourth, I guess. Edwin's hit. Eighteenth round. Nobody hitting the bullseye. Okay, bullseye then. Thank you. 19th round. Edwin got the one bullseye. Even I didn't get a bullseye. Rude. Edwin's purely in fourth place now. And it's the final round. Come on. You gotta give me a bullseye. Master of the ceremony as the contest is over when he calls out the name of the competitor who is the sole that's in the first place. The crowd spectators erupt in a raucous cheer. The Master of Ceremonies greets you in the center of the contest field and officially declares you the victor. The crowd spectators, having been worked into a frenzy over the 20 exciting rounds of the competition, erupt in deafening applause as you bow gracefully accept the grand prize, and you present the 500 gold tokens in a decorative leather bag. You take a final bow before the crowd and bid your fellow competitors farewell before making off the contest field. As you near the edge of the list, you're suddenly met by the woodsman. He congratulates you on your victory and tells you there is an important matter to discuss with you. Taking the contest was a feat, but surely not unexpected. To a person of such skill like yourself, Alison, triumph against such odds of no random event. Perhaps you'll take a moment to hear what I have to say. Divination. Nobody says anything about the woman standing before you. Okay. But listen. Divination failed? Listen. I'm a Grandmaster of Divination. Should not be failing. The woodsman introduced himself as Songfoot and tells you, that's name, that the man he works for has taken an interest in you, having followed news of your adventures. He admires your bravery and skill. He greatly desires to meet with you, says Songfoot, his eyes locked upon your own as if attempting to read your intentions. You may know him by the name that is commonly associated with him in this part, Moonwolf. Okay, you guys like Native Americans? Songfoot and Moonwolf? Your heart skips a beat in the mention of the name Moonwolf, the exposure of the infamous outlaw nearly legendary. But for several years it's been widely assumed that he's been killed. And you will come with me at once if you're to meet with my master. Okay. You follow Songfoot into the forest, struggling to keep pace with the expert woodsman. I'm an expert woodsman. As he crosses the rugged terrain, which with what appears to be minimal effort, at last, nearly an hour after leaving Tal Warden, you find yourself on the outskirts of the sizable, well-concealed forest encampment. Two men with drawn bows step out of the brush, their weapons trained on you menacingly. When they note you are in the presence of Songfoot, they relax their guard and allow you to pass to the interior of the camp. After the high tent near the center of the camp steps a tall man clad in soft leather armor. The man's greying hair betrays his advanced age, yet his sinewy limbs imposing the posture hint at his formidable strength. You realize that you're looking at the man known as Moonwolf, a man whose few among the living have laid eyes upon him. So, at last we meet, he says, striding up to you. I place in my band of men for someone like you. Alison, I've watched you for some time, and your victory at Tal Warden only confirms my belief in your extraordinary talents. Despite anything you might have heard about us, our case is a noble one. Our cause is a noble one, I can assure you. We would greatly be honored to count you among our ranks. A woman who has a bow like you is an asset I'm not willing to let slip away easily. You can't just say your cause is a noble one. No. Wolf and Songfoot seem disappointed by your decision, but they do not become hostile. In fact, Wolf wishes you luck and watches you depart from the encampment. The good fight goes ever on, he calls after you as you make your way out of the camp into the forest, headed back to Sryth. Like, you can't just say, oh, our cause is good, our cause is just. Like, what is it? How about that? Can't just join you on one sentence. Sorry. Alright, let's do the Beast of Iron thing. A brutal midwinter grips the North Broadlands. While resting from the day's events before the fire in Trithic's illustrious pheasant-eyed tavern, you overhear someone inquire about your whereabouts to the tavern keep. When you turn around and discover the source of inquiry, you behold a tall, grey-haired thin man wrapped in a fur cloak, making his way unsteadily across the common room floor towards you. The man is shivering almost uncontrollably, and his grey beard is matted with ice and snow. You invite him to sit by the fire, and when he at last recovered enough to speak comfortably, he addresses you earnestly. The man introduces himself as Abram, and tells you that he's travelled here with great haste from a small village named Frostland that sits a third of the way up the mountain Ironfang on the western frontier of Tisa. He tells you that he was instructed to find you at all costs, and that your reputation as an adventurer has extended to places as remote as the mountain village he calls home. I must be honest with you, he says. This is no ordinary affair. We seek your services to combat the menace of a creature known as the Rhine Beast. The mention of the name of this infamous creature greatly piques your interest. The legend of the Rhine Beast is a tale known throughout Tisa, and even some parts beyond. You have believed, like everyone else, that the creature was still in a state of magical slumber, and the results of the spell placed on its cave almost a century ago by a powerful mage. Abram tells you that the spell that held the beast fell asleep within its lair has either faded or been broken, as there's no longer the faint greenish glow emanating from its cave near Ironfang's peak. The beast roams the woods again, howling at night, slaughtering game. It has once again found its taste for human flesh. Two of the citizens have gone missing. Though I hold out all hope for their safe return, I dare say we shall find their bones in its lair. I beseech you, Alison, to return with me to Frost Lane at once. Our council has placed trust in me to find someone suitably skilled to defeat the menace of the beast, and I pray that you will consider my plea. Sure. The journey of Frost Lane, located a third of the way up Ironfang Mountain on Tisa. I meant to read about the quest, and it's not a while. On Tisa's western front is cold and arduous. Before you reach the mountain, Abram is taken ill, likely due to the exhaustion from his recent travels. You leave him behind in the hands of a healer in the village of Falsey, before continuing the remainder of the trek on your own. And when you last arrive in Frostland, you encounter the village in great turmoil. Your arrival at Frostland is met with a great deal of excitement. The villagers peer out the windows, and many move out of their homes to get a first-hand look at the bold adventurer who braved the dangerous winter's journey to reach a place now so firmly in the grip of terror. You're greeted by the village chief elder, Binring, who serves as the head of its council, and when you have answered his inquiry about Abram, he nods and leads you through the snowy streets to a squat building of wood and stone that serves as a village meeting house. Thick smoke pours out of the chimney of the meeting house, and you soon find yourself seated at a table within, enduring a hot meal of roasted game fowl and a mug of thick, earthy wine. Against all hope, Abram has succeeded in bringing you here, Alison, said Vidring, his furrowed brow and tired eyes betraying the toll the recent events here have taken on him. We're already in your debt, but there is little time to lose, for we have now lost 5 of our people to the beast. Our mining and wood-cutting operations have come to a standstill, for there are few willing to venture outside the village while the Wine Beast prowls the mountain. Then Ring tells you that the century-old spell that kept the Rhine Beast in enchanted sleep in its cave atop the mountain was inexplicably broken, rousing the creature from slumber and leaving it free to roam the mountain it once so ferociously ruled. There is a rather pressing matter which I was made aware of prior to your arrival. It seems that the group of our more foolhardy Frostland folk, led by the woodsman Jert, have taken it upon themselves to hunt down and slay the beast. It is obvious they do not comprehend the power of the beast, the creature they seek. They will surely find death unless they can be brought to their senses. 6 of them, including Jert, entered the forest nearly an hour ago. It may not be too late to retrieve them, Alison, and I must ask that their safe return be our first order of business. You sense that the hunting party is in grave danger, but you're not too late to help them if you start to the forest at once. Let's go. Vidring nods and rises from the seat with you in a shoulder cross when you tell him that you will go into the forest to search for the hunting party. They'll pay heed to you, no doubt. Tell them they are needed here in defense of the village. You will be content to leave the monster slaying up to those who are well practiced in it. You bid Vidring a farewell and tell him not to worry. Secretly, you hope that you'll be able to find 6 men before it's too late. From all that you know of the Rhine Beast, Jurt and his band of men will not stand a chance against it. Following the trail, the 6 men is made easily by the 4 inches of fresh powder that blanket the ground before dawn. For nearly a mile, you dog their tracks west into the forest, where the trail abruptly turns north. Another mile passes beneath your feet, and you enter a region of tall hardwoods broken up by boulder-strewn hillocks. Not far in amongst the hills, you come upon Jet and his man of 5 men seated around the campfire, laughing and drinking freshly brewed pale from the heavy earth wall mugs. You approach the men and introduce yourself, and almost at once you sense a feeling of relief pass over the group. And you tell Jet that he and his men lead it back to the crossing to bolster the village's defenses. The experienced huntsman nodded grimly and instructed the 5 men with him to douse the fire, and prepare the trek back home. I suppose it was foolish notion to come out here as we did, he says. You'll have everything in hand now. You'll have everything in hand now, Alison and Wedge will just. A series of angry bellows, followed by a deafening roar, suddenly erupts from behind the hillock directly north, cutting off Jet in mid-sentence. His men scramble to their feet, and the master husband draws his sword. Jet tells the men in his party to return to Frost and to a man they nod in agreement and set out at once for the village. He then turns to you and points the direction of the hill over the horrid town roads. Quick, let's have ourselves a look, he says. Side by side with Jet, you mount the hill at once. At the summit, you crouch down and peer at the forest. Horrific scene greets your eyes. From the vantage point, crouched atop the small hillock, you see the carcasses of 2 small brown bears float into the snow below, their blood turning much of the covered ground dark red. Despite the fact that you make out nothing moving in the forest below, your thoughts at once turn to the Rhine Beast. Alright, let's read about it. Rhine Beast is named to a strange, massive humanoid creature of unknown origin that once roamed and ruled the slopes of Iron Fang Mountain. Some say that the creature was creation dark master left over from the age of Aroludon, while others believe it is a rare breed of troll and perhaps the last of its species. Whatever its origin, the Rhine Beast evoked terror as few other creatures ever have. The massive bipedal creature was covered from head to toe in a combination of stony grey scales and thick white fur. It's a yeti. Its coal black eyes sat up just atop a flat, broad bear-like nose which rested upon a mouth. And it's full of sharp, jagged teeth and is nearly a foot wide. Long spikes of bone and ice are said to protrude from the back of the beast, serving as a protection for any foolhardy enough to find itself entangled in it. It is been said the Rhine Beast possesses the strength of 2 bears and that it can run faster than a galloping horse. Having roamed the mountain for centuries, the Rhine Beast was last defeated when a powerful wizard placed a spell upon its lair, putting the fearsome creature into a deep, perpetual sleep. Rhine Beast it is, says Jet, as if you've read your thoughts. Strange for it to leave these bears lying about like that. As hungry as that beast is, there's usually not a scrap of prey left to be found. I've heard it's been known to eat the bones at times. A sound on the hillside behind you tells you simply to turn your head. Your heart skips a beat and you swing your feet, dragging Jet from his prone position as you go. The woodsman's eyes grow wide with fear at the sight of what is advancing upon you up the spine of the hillock. The Rhine Beast, a massive, scale and fur-covered torso, swaying atop its thickly muscled legs, bellows loudly as it continues up the hillside towards you. A dozen tall spikes of ice of the bone protrude from the back of the towering creature. Its fur-covered hands are nearly 3 times the size of your own, and on the tip of the thick fingers extend a broad black claw. Rhine Beast pauses almost 30 yards from you and roars, exposing a mouthful of sharp, jagged teeth. With its gaping maw, the terrifying creature sniffs wildly at the air and bellows once more before resuming its climb. You slip down the slope towards those bears, and then shoot straight east and lose them in the hills. Don't stand against him here, Alison, on his terms. He is death. Without waiting for your response, Jet turns and plunges down the back of the hillock, moving as fast as his feet will carry. You turn your eyes from the fleeing woodsman back to the Rhine Beast. The fearsome creature is now less than 10 yards away. I can't leave. Shoot! Noose! The Rhine Beast bellows in pain as the arrow strikes it just below his right shoulder. The creature tears a shaft from his flesh, spilling a generous amount of black blood down over the grey scales and white fur of its torso. Despite the wound, the beast continues in your direction, and its enraged bellow deafening. Stand. We stand, we fight. Gil. What? Just gotta run away. The round beast bellows painfully and staggers backward. You leap forward to continue assault on the fearsome beast, but it turns and flees in the forest, lopping along at a pace you cannot possibly match. In less than a minute, the beast has disappeared from sight. Excited, make your way back to the village, following Jet's trail. You reach the bottom of the hill and follow Jet's trail as it turns east, and within a few minutes you catch up with him. You find the woodsman leaning against the boulder at the foot of a steep slope, attempting to catch his breath. Jet returns to the frostland without seeing any sign of the beast. Upon your return, Jet hurries off to find his band of men while you make your way to the village meeting house, where an anxious Vidring is elated by the news you made it back safely. Vidring listens as you relate to him details of your encounter with the Rhine beast and nods when you finish your encounter. The beast must be slain, he says. When you finish speaking, it will continue its wickedness until it reclaims the entire mountain. There's no telling how far its terror could spread. I can only tell you, Alison, that I fear you shall have to confront it in its lair, in its cave on the top of Iron Fang. Vidring is silent for a moment and seems to be lost in thought as at last he looks directly at you and addresses you in this most serious tone. I cannot possibly ask you to undertake an endeavour that could so easily mean death, he says grimly, yet you brought him for a reason, and my duty to the people of Frostland demands that I do. Will it be forever in your dead, Alison? Will you accept this mission and journey to the cave of the beast? Yeah, we doing it. Vidring meets you at a shoulder cross and leads you over to the log building directly across from the meeting house. There you meet a man named Edmar, who bows deeply before you and tells you that it's a high honor to meet you. Edmar hands you an elixir of Quebec and wishes you luck on his hand. I wish I had a dozen of those to give you, said Vidring. You and he thank Edmar, who merely shakes his head and again wishes you luck. When you're at last ready to embark on your very dangerous endeavor, Vidring leads you to the northern edge of Frostland and into the forest, where the wide track winds slowly up through the snow-blanketed landscape into the summit of Iron Fang. May the All-Father protect you and see you safely back to us, he says as you start on the path. After covering 50 yards or so, you glance back over your shoulder and hold a stark silhouette. Behold the stark silhouette of Vidring set against the snow-draped backdrop of the mountain. You silently hope that you will again pass this way. The climb along the path that winds its way upward to the frozen forest, that cover the spine of Iron Fang is an arduous one. You find yourself stopping more frequently to regather your strength the further up the mountain you climb. It is during one of these stops that you are confronted by something quite unexpected. Having rested the edge of the belt of stunted pines, you're just about to resume your trek to the summit, when suddenly a pack of winter wolves looms out of the forest. The 8 vicious canines quickly move to encircle you, eager to take down what they consider to be easy prey. You press your back against one of the pines and prepare to face the intimidating attack. The remains of the winter wolf pack lie strewn about on the snow ground at your feet. The vicious canines will never again face under the hard winter in Iron Fang. After taking a moment's rest following the brutal encounter, you once again set off on your trek to the summit. The remainder of your journey to the summit of Iron Fang passes without incident, and it is early afternoon when you first lay eyes upon the lair of the Rhine beast. The dark mouth of the cave is set into the base of the sheer tower of rock and ice that extends over 100 feet into the sky and creates the fang for which the mountain is named. You can see nothing moving in it or around the cave, but you're certain that you're staring at the entrance of the fearsome creature's abode. After watching the cave mouth for several minutes, you decide to make your way over and into the cave. You realize that sooner or later you'll need to confront and engage the beast if you want to fulfill your mission, and you're more keen on confronting the beast in the light of day and on your own terms. You reach the mouth of the cave, step aside, the light source illuminates the interior, and the scene that greets you is entirely unexpected. On the floor of the middle of the cave is the bloody carcass of a large creature. As you move closer, you suddenly discover that it is the carcass of the Rhine beast. Much of the dead creature's torso has been charred. You believe the beast may fire it in here in its own lair. More puzzling still is the fact that it would appear the beast has been dead for several days, perhaps several weeks. Wondering how this came to be, when suddenly a voice rings out behind Sryth. You turn around and behold a man in leather breeches wrapped in a green cloak emerging from the shadowy corner of the cave. "You're far too late to play the part of the conquering hero," says the dark-haired man as he bows before you. "The beast, as this mountain folk call it, has been dead 2 long weeks. It woke from its plunging nap, a pitiful shadow of its former self, scared and weak. 2 bolts of flame sent it to its grave, and that's the one more bolt than it would have taken you, Idle Ranger. A low pulsing sound comes from the back of the cave, and you turn to see a swirling black portal slowly taking form against the wall, and as quickly as it appeared, the portal flickers and fades from view. Suddenly you realize the portal just witnesses a shadow path attempting to open. Yes, it's a shadow path, says the young man contemptuously. A better place than here in the lair of the dread rhyme beast to effect its opening. Who would be foolhardy? Who but the foolhardy would choose to venture up this way with rhyme beast roam free in the mountain? A guttural snarl from the mouth of the cave spins your head in that direction. That's what I'm saying. I fought the rhyme beast. There has to be one. Or an illusion of one, I guess. I mean, it can be an illusion because I fought it. It's a dead one? Standing just in the mouth of the cave is a rhyme beast, scarcely able to believe your own eyes. You look from the carcass on the cave floor to the hulking creature standing only a few yards from you and incredulously conclude that they are identical. The young man laughs and folds his arms across his chest and steps back toward the cave wall. The beast roars and begins stalking towards you, its massive clawed hands raised and anticipating dealing a death blow. Error. The beast battles in agony as the arrow pierces in midsection. Despite the grievous wound you dealt, the creature opens its mouth and lumbers forward to attack. With a final wailing bellow, the massive beast crashes to the floor of the cave, where it twitches slightly before becoming still. Suddenly a sharp charge comes over the form of the fallen beast, and the fur scales and scratches the bone and the ice that cover its torso melt away, revealing the body of a forest troll. It appears that this creature, disguised by magic, was a beast that recently plagued Ironfang. The young man again emerged from the shadows, but his smug demeanor has been replaced by a furious scowl. His hands are now wreathed in crimson flame. One beast is as good as the next, sneers the young man, and this one made certain that no one dared venture this way except you, no matter, but to enjoy a similar end. Without another word, he thrust his hand out, and 2 bolts of flame streaked through the air, hurtling straight toward your chest. The bolt of magic flame glanced harmlessly off the invisible barrier you've erected. The young mage cries out in alarm as you leap forward to attack him, determined to put an end to the wicked business he conducts here. The young mage recoils in terror as you launch your attack. He struggles to defend himself as he tries to unleash a magical attack on you. Death. You quickly search the mage's remains and discover the following. You make quick search of the cave, but discover nothing of interest or value. There's no further sign of the shadow path. The dead mage was attempting to open here, and for that you were relieved. Confident you thought of the evil of this young spellcaster sought to craft here, added to the fact that the real rhyme beast is immoral, you feel that your mission has been a resounding success. You begin and once to return to trek to Frostland. Now it has long since fallen when you last strike back into the village of Frostland, but you spy a flickering light from the window of the meeting house and step inside to find Vinring busy poring over stacks of documents and several large texts. His eyes light up when you inform him of the success of your mission, and he springs from a seat and meets you in the shoulder cast. Beyond all hope, he cries, beyond all hope. I might let the other council members know at once. Frostland called for a hero, and a hero indeed we received. News of your triumph return spreads quickly through the village, and amidst the celebration that goes on into the earlier hours of the morning, you impart the full details of what occurred on the top of the mountain to Vinring and the other elders. We were then in even graver danger than we thought, said Vinring, upon learning of the mage encounter and the attempt to open a shadow path. Come with me, Alison, for there is something I wish for you to have. Inside the meeting house, away from the celebration taking place in the snowy village, Vinring hands you a leather satchel containing Quebec elixirs. It's not much, certainly not much for what you just undertook, but it's all I have to offer. I pray it will keep you in fine health. You graciously accept the trio of elixirs, bowing respectfully before the village elder. The celebration of frosting continues on the first light of dawn, after which its hard-working but exhausted citizens return to their daily routines, free from the shadow that long hung over their home. You bid the village and Vidrin in particular farewell before setting out on your way. On the way out of Frostland, you encounter Abram, who is returning home, having sufficiently recouped from his fatigue-induced illness. He shakes his head in his amazement as he tells him of the success of your mission. He thanks you and tells you you have earned a place in history of these parts that is second to none. Godspeed and good fortune to you, Alison, he calls after you as you depart. You bid Abram a final farewell before descending the stony track that leads out of the village. Bit long, but that's okay. Another shadow path encounter. Shadow paths are plaguing this place. and we're thwarting them left and right. Can we thwart them forever? That's what the question is. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Till next time, you know what I'm going to say. Peace.